So everyone, thank you so much for coming along tonight. The rules of the game are you can interrupt as often as you like, either just by jumping in. You can put your hand up from the reactions tab in your menu bar. You can type a question in the chat. Amina and I will both be watching the chat throughout. I might open it now, so I want to make sure it's there. And this will be recorded, so you will be receiving a link to this recording either tonight or tomorrow morning, and you can feel free to share that far and wide as well. We are going to be describing what the dental practice management program is, and as a student, what your journey with it looks like. And we will be having a special offer if you enroll by close of business tomorrow. If you do need to leave early but you're desperate for the offer, pop your hand up. We'll make sure we speak about the offer the minute you ask. While we do wait for the next couple of people, Meanie, why don't you give us a very brief summary of who you are and why you're good?
Oh, well, I'm good. Do we need that?
It's obvious.
I'm from country New South Wales, not too far from Wodonga, or heading out that way. I'm from Griffith in the Riverina. So I was raised there, and my father was a GP there. So I grew up in a medical practice. Later, was somewhat lacking a bit of discipline. Left school, and the only job going in the whole town was as a traineeship for a dental assistant. So I began there, and after a few years, I worked in the ACT and things like that. And then, very unfortunately, my father passed away, and his finances were a mess after 35 years of private practice. I then decided to study accounting, moved my way into practice management, and then became very passionate about helping what I found these science brains are so good at their science, but perhaps not so good at managing businesses in some cases because they're not taught those sorts of things. Well, that's not really their area of interest either. So I worked in practice management in many practices, growing them, conquering them, changing them, all those sorts of things. And then decided in 2016 that I didn't need to just do this for one practice, that I could offer this assistance to multiple practices, and it's very, very fulfilling. And then some point along the way, I thought it would be great early in the piece to have a mentor, somebody to bounce off. And so I plucked up all this courage to ring Julie. We had a coffee, and the rest is history, basically.
The rest is history. We found out we had a very similar things that we found humorous, and so we started laughing from the moment that we started speaking. It's been a lovely relationship ever since. Very briefly about myself, much like Amina, I got into the industry very early. I was kicked out of school at 17 because I wasn't enjoying turning up to school, and got into dentistry as a dental assistant, moved through all the many different roles that we have in dental practices. When I was 33, I became the first non-dentist to buy a practice in Australia. I owned that for 10 years down here in Melbourne. Loved it. Huge learning curve, as you know, many of us go through these projects where there is a large learning curve. And then sold it when I was 43 because I went through divorce and changes in my life, and have been a consultant ever since. I started doing the online space many years ago with online courses and everything, but certainly when COVID hit, it became very apparent how useful this online space is. Dental practices are so time poor generally to get further training, and it's also quite costly when you add into the cost of the course itself and then the downtime out of the appointment book. And so when Amina and I a year ago were looking for more opportunities to work together, because we'd already worked together in a number of different ways, we had seen this big trend online of practice management or practice managers' diplomas, etc., aren't either focused on dental, so a lot of the information is irrelevant, or there's not enough relevancy to their role. But the one course that was really good, I think it was called a UAE course, that was gone, and the only one that was left really lacked good support. So a lot of students just ducked out partway through the program. So that leads us to the development of this program. It has been running for a year. We held the pilot program last year. That pilot program, we rolled out, we wanted all of the content that you learn within this course to be highly relevant, applicable to your everyday, allowing you to really have a big impact in your role within the practice. We also wanted the student support to be absolutely phenomenal. And we have surveyed our students all the way through, and students that do enroll will see there's a few surveys on the way through. So we can consistently check in to make sure that we are satisfying what you need as students to be able to move through the course content easily and be able to implement it as well. We have current year 2023, we're taking enrolments now, of course. People have access. Once you enroll in this program, you've got access to the content. You can hear that dog in the background, can't you? I'm sorry about that. Someone's daring to take their bin out, so it deserves a lot of attention. So you can access the course curriculum immediately, and you can start working through it immediately too, because as we'll describe, there's a wheel of curriculum that we move through every year. If, for example, though, you are moving through employing a new team member right now, you can jump straight to that and start tackling that because that's what's relevant to you right now. But between the months of February all the way through to November, like a school year, that's where our live sessions are held. And we have the January and December off the live sessions, but we're accessible for support all the way through the year. So that's a little bit about us. We look forward to giving you all the information tonight, but do feel free to interrupt or ask questions all the way through.
The other thing about this particular program, having completed a diploma in practice management myself, what I found, I did it late in the piece after I've been working as a practice manager for quite some time. And I felt really that I was putting everything I knew on paper to get my certificate. And that's really all I gained from it. So that is one of the big motivations for me behind this program, is that the content within the program is very relevant to the dental practice. And also, even after years of experience, it's things that can be revisited all the time for new ideas. And there's certainly things within the practice that need to be reviewed quite frequently. And we need to change our processes and systems depending on what's working well and what's not.
Beautiful. And I love that you've had that experience of moving through one of the diplomas so you can see the value. I never did one of the diplomas myself. So you can actually understand the kind of value that we want as students to one of these things. We're doing these courses to find out how to do our job. And that's what the content is filled up with, how to do your job really effectively. And when you jump onto our homepage, as you move through, we are going to play some of these testimonials as well, just so you can hear from the students themselves what their experience has actually been with this. But just to start the ball rolling, because just to help you get a feel for who this course is designed for, it's designed for the practice manager's role. However, we also know there's a bunch of dental practice owners out there that also would love to have this information, will benefit from this information. We also know there's lots of practice managers out there that have a combined role. They've got practice management responsibilities, but they're also manning the phones as the receptionist as well. And so we've got practice managers all the way from a practice manager that's doing all the things, all the rostering, the team training, the maintenance of equipment, the budgeting, the KPIs, goals achievement, all the things, all the way through to a practice manager that's their title, but they've been given the title because they've been in the role of receptionist for 20 years, but they don't necessarily do all the other bits and pieces, and everything in between as well. And so you'll see from the curriculum that we do spend a bit of time on the reception duties and the patient engagement processes, because this all also forms part of your role. You're either doing it yourself or you need to know how to train your team members to do that very well as well. But just a quick first review from Trevor Barrett. He's one of the dentists that has been enrolled in the pilot program because he's a practice owner and he wanted to get that information. This program has been excellent and inspiring. The presenters are knowledgeable and friendly, giving lots of tips in addition to the course information. The members' website is easy to use and full of extra information. It allows you to review the live sessions and access all assignments and course information. I highly recommend this course to practice managers, practice owners, and those who aspire to be practice managers or owners. We'll go back to a review a bit later. So we've described about who is it for, but Meany, can you start talking a bit further to one of the big aspects of support? Because even though you can access the content straight away, you can really self-pace your way through that content. You can pick and choose, cherry pick the areas that you go through. And sometimes for practice owners, that's a good way to go. What's relevant for me right now? But if you wanted to be guided through this program and achieve that higher level of support from both myself and Amina and other students as well, the live sessions are a very good place to go.
So each week we deliver a lesson. And we'll deliver it live twice a week to give you opportunity to get to one of the sessions. So Monday mornings, 9 to 11, Melbourne time, and Thursday evenings from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m, thereabouts. We also try to keep the lessons quite concise. They're usually the first hour. And the second part of the lesson is where we will have questions and answers. We'll have a mastermind. Sometimes we'll do a breakout session with certain members who've got more confidential things they want to discuss. And we participate together in what's called a sprint. So we go, okay, we're going to use this solid time now to get something done. It's something Julie and I learned about a little while ago, and it's a good discipline. I actually use it in every area of my life now. But a really good skill or tool to use in terms of being productive and effective. So the live sessions, I find, is where you'll get the ultimate value from the program because of the interaction and the questions and the information shared. We also share a lot of resources and ideas. So if you can get to one of those sessions, it will really make the program more valuable to you, and I think much more enjoyable. It's quite a lot of fun as well. We do have
it is a lot of fun, and that's where you build the relationships up and you start broadening out the network, your own support network too, where you know who to tap into to get some more additional advice. Can you imagine having a particular issue? It doesn't have to be one that you have no solution for, but you just want to hear what other practices are doing in their practice about that. You just want to hear what Amina and I have experienced ourselves and what we've got to offer in that particular experience as well. So that's the mastermind session where we're all helping each other get better and better. And the live sessions are also very good for the sprints to be able to get the assignments done. One of the biggest questions that we always do get is how much time is it going to take me to not just move through the content, but do the assignments and do all the things? And 90% of the assignments can all be done within one of the sprints or two of the sprints of that 2-hour live session. So we go through the lesson first. We do a combination of sprints and masterminds depending on what the students need at the time. And if you need one-on-one counselling, such as what Amina said, we can go into a breakout session to chat about whatever's going on is in your practice. And so from the perspective of how long will it take me out of my week to move through this, if you're attending the live sessions, it will just take you the 2 hours a week because most of those assignments can be completed within that 2-hour period. If you aren't, go please. No, go.
Julie's asked, are they recorded if you can't make them? The answer to that is absolutely. And it's certainly not compulsory or not a factor if you can't move through the course without attending the live sessions. You can. So there's lots of flexibility around that.
That's it. And because the questions have been asked, I'm going to jump straight to the recordings page. So the recordings page have the 2 live sessions every week of the 14th, week of the 7th, and you'll have, you won't look through the whole library of live sessions, but it just keeps being added to. And so if you have missed any of the live sessions, all you need to do is go into your recordings page, and the most current ones will be at the top, and you can click in there straight away and have a look. What is sometimes is a useful thing is to go into, if you, for example, you've gone to the Monday live session and then the Thursday one you haven't gone into, you haven't attended, jump in and just look at the last bit, look at the last mastermind section, just in case there's topics that have been raised and discussed and solutions being delivered and resources being delivered that is going to be useful possibly for your practice as well. So just look at the mastermind session.
So
and with the
sorry, Julie.
Please go.
And one of the concerns always is, apart from attending these 2-hour live sessions, am I going to have to spend hours outside of that to complete this program? The answer is absolutely not. Most of it will happen within that time, and the assignments aren't lengthy, very time consuming. It's really, really simple. And because most of the contents the learnings are within the lessons.
Yeah, that's right. And we do teach you how to implement all of these lessons as well. And so the assignments do become part of just making sure you understand the concept. So when you are implementing it, then you're sharing with your team members or you're doing it within yourself, knowing what your ultimate goal is, the big why behind these different systems that you're implementing or different insights that are going to help govern the way that you move about the general operations of the dental practice every day. And Minnie was talking about, and one of our testimonials, you'll hear that all the additional stuff that Amina and I share in terms of resources as different things raise up. So just through the general conversation during the live sessions, we'll touch onto something else and we'll say, oh, I've got a download for that. I've got a script for that. I've got a presentation on that. And that all gets loaded up into our resources page. Again, you've got access to this straight away. We have everything housed there from last year, and whatever we discuss in particular live sessions, we just continue adding to it. So if you have requested something or heard about something, you go straight into the resources and downloads page, and the top stuff is the most current stuff there. That's a great resource anyway, that once you do become a student, take a bit of time, move through that list. There's quite likely a number of things that you're going to find relevant straight away. Along with that as well, since we're moving through the different pages, is the community page. And so this acts just like a Facebook feed. Members, as you see, we've got the 122 members in total so far. If you've got a question, if you've got insight to deliver to everybody that you think everyone's going to find useful, whatever you need to speak about, and Amina and I chat on there for different notifications that are relevant to everybody, you just go ahead and add a comment. And then as a member of that community, you get an email notification, someone's just made a comment in community. And so you get an alert straight away. Likewise, if you put in a question, when it's answered, you get an email alert straight away. So you know it's been answered straight away. And so you can access that kind of information, that kind of support really quickly. And Amina and I, because there's two of us, we are responding to any inquiries that you have. Really, I would imagine, what would you say, Minnie? It's definitely within an hour. It's usually within minutes, though.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So that's the delivery of the live sessions. The delivery of the content itself, when you become a student, this is what you get access to. Straight away, you've got access to all of the modules. And it's a fantastic learning platform. This learning platform is called Thinkific. It really is fantastic. This is where all of your, the curriculum is, any downloads, any assignments, any videos that we've got, it's all housed within this. And at the very top there, you've got a completion bar, so you can see how far you're progressing as the year is rolling on. I'll just go into one of the systems, for example. When you go into systems, any of the modules, first thing you see is a video of us presenting that module. Well, here we are in the module of systems. And then we step through the lessons one at a time. If you're attending the live sessions, you've got your dashboard open yourself, the course open yourself. And as we progress through, clicking complete and continue as we go, you're doing the same thing. And so you'll start seeing your progress line going on through. But all of the content we have designed it so it's not, you don't have to sit back and read for hours and hours and hours. If you attend a live session with us, you won't have to go back through that lesson again and do it yourself. We cover all of it in the live sessions throughout the year. And I'm just going to see, there we go. There's an example of an assignment at the end of most lessons, not all lessons, but how many, 80% of the lessons, I think it is, Mimi, there are assignments to do. And that's where we describe and detail and step you through the assignment within the live session. Then we then go into a sprint. You can choose to do the assignment straight away. You can choose to do a task on your to-do list at work for the day that you need to get done. And so during that year, if you're attending the live sessions, we're training you into how to have this very careful, focused attention for 20-minute periods of time to get a whole bunch of things done. And it's been quite satisfying, the amount of feedback we've got around that's just become the way people get their stuff done at work now, and they find themselves managing their load very, very well. And so once you hit download, you get the assignment itself, and then once you've completed the assignment, you upload it back into the system. It comes back through to us. Every single month, we go through all the assignments and correct them, or not correct them, but assess them. And then we send you an assessment report every month. And so you can see how many assignments I've got left to do, any feedback that we've given you around the assessment, whether you have to do anything again to make sure that you do understand the concept properly. And again, support all the way through. Within the process as well, within the structure itself as well, you'll also see, and so this is a brand new module. So we're going to go over, also be reminded, there's the schedule wheel there, which we'll go through soon. You'll be reminded at what point in the program that we're at. And there's always opportunities to generate a Zoom session with Amina and myself at a time that suits you. You can just schedule a time because I need help with this assignment. I need help with this particular lesson. So this is the kind of support that we're talking about, that the minute you get lost, we're there for you. I want to go back to this section here to go to the next part of the movement through the program. Another question has been, what if I can't get everything done in the 12-month period? And this is what we mean by self-paced as well. So you may be doing your best to attend the live sessions, your best to keep up with that yearly progress, but if you take longer than 12 months, it doesn't matter. You've got access to the course curriculum and access to the live sessions for as long as you need. For as long as Amina and I are conducting this program, that's how long you've got access to everything. And so you don't have to feel like you're going to run out of time. If you wanted to get it done more swiftly as well, you can get it done in 6 months if you wish, because running through the course curriculum, just through the curriculum itself without the live sessions, you are still stepped through the process because there's videos of us stepping you through the process at each time. So the pace that is going to be good for you with your busyness at work and the fluctuating busyness that it is at work, is still very flexible in terms of that. And a very wonderful benefit, which Amina and I are thrilled about, is that if you have additional team members that you want to enroll in the program as well, they can be enrolled for free. A couple of the reasons around that is because we have found a number of enrollments. The practice owner has said, I'd also like to have a look at it. I don't need to do the assignments. It doesn't matter how I progress through, but I'd like to have access to the course content as well. And so we do offer that free enrollment. Another reason it's come up, hasn't it, Meanie, over the past few months, is just because of the recruitment issues that the industry has been moving through. People are reticent about signing up a particular practice manager because she's just new. What if she doesn't like the job and she leaves again in 3 months' time? What do I do then? And so this is why we have made it a per practice enrollment, because there's a number of issues around that. Moving through the
I'll just clarify that. So if the staff member was to leave, we would just give you another login for another staff member when they come. We're pretty flexible and try to accommodate everyone and make life easy.
We want it to be easy. We want it to be so easy to do the course, so easy to move through the course and get that level of support that you need. We want the whole process to be nice and straightforward and flexible, as you said, meaning flexible for everybody. We've spoken about the level of support that you enjoy as a student and also recognition. So those that do want to get to the end and get a certificate at the end, they can, once you move through the whole course curriculum, clicking complete and continue, and that the percentage bar, it's got 100% complete. And once you've had every one of your assignments assessed and marked off, then you get to achieve, and I've actually just got one that I'm sending out to a recent graduate. You get a fantastic, beautiful certificate in the mail, which is a very enjoyable thing to get and a wonderful thing to put onto your resume as well, because even though this is just the second year of this program, Amina and I are certainly structuring it with the vision in mind that the minute that certificate's on the resume, you're going to be sought after because they know how much information and skill that you've got. So I might quickly just play Ainsley's testimonial, because that's one of the ones that talks about that, whatever role you're really fulfilling, it's going to be useful for you as well. So start waving at me if you're not hearing the sound.
I think my concerns were that despite my experience and the years that I'd been in this role, I really didn't have any organised education or formal education in this kind of sphere, and that I was kind of stumbling along in my day-to-day. So my concern was that there were a number of things that I was actually missing that I could be doing better or improving or helping my team. So when I saw this program come up, I thought it was a fantastic opportunity to actually get some tangible knowledge and things that could help me in my day-to-day. I think I had a pretty good grasp of like the day-to-day operations from a patient point of view, but I definitely think in terms of HR and staffing, there was a big gap in my knowledge, purely because I didn't have the person before me to share their experiences. And the practice owner, understandably, is incredibly busy and not really able to take over that kind of training as well. So, yeah, I was looking to ensure that from a people management point of view, I had lots of help and information. And of course, despite thinking that you know everything about a particular part of practice life, there's always other information that can be shared and things to be learnt that you may not have considered previously. So overall, in all areas, I've had a huge benefit from the program. The program has been invaluable, not only from the weekly meetings and Zoom time together, but even just the resources that have been shared throughout the program from Amina and Julie, documents, policies, procedures, it's all just been so freely shared that has been a massive, massive help. I would definitely encourage anyone who is in both a management or practice owner position, or even, to be honest, anyone who's in front office, or quite honestly, anyone who actually wants to just develop their own skills within a dental setting. I think anyone would find value from this program, so I would absolutely encourage it. There's heaps to learn in all facets of practice life, and I think anyone who has an interest in developing their own skills in this field would value immensely from joining the program. The best part is everything. I can't really think of a negative. I think the best thing has been the ease of participating. It's 2 hours a week, and with those sessions recorded, so you can always refer back to them later on. Everything stays available for you to log in and check and see and come back to. So that has been really, really good. And I think it's also just the best part of the program is realising that the problems that you face within your own practice are things that everyone has come across, and you're not going through these things alone. There's other people that can share their experience and tips and tricks and what have you. And then also it's about understanding that all practices are different and you can find what works within your own team and clinic, but with an overarching kind of framework to help sort of make your practice the best it can possibly be.
Was there, and there's a little question there, I work in community health as a DA with over 25 years experience. I'm not working as practice manager, but if I complete I've got the thing here. If I complete course, maybe I could do one in the future as part of course. Do you need to be working as a PM to help complete? No, you don't. And you can, this is one of the other things regarding the assignments and the content. You don't have, the assignments aren't, and I had this question earlier today, the assignments aren't, for example, this is the example that they gave me, because I said to them, we'll teach you how to do a performance review. Do I need to actually do a real performance review to be able to be assessed properly? And I said, no, you don't have to do that. And so we're giving you the framework, and the assignments are around making sure that you understand what to do. And so it's just that for you, it will be a collection of knowledge that will help and assist you once you do become a practice manager. But as we're going to go through some of the course content, you'll start to see these are areas that many dental practice employees are trying to manage and work through every day as well. So we might just very briefly move through, Meanie, the course curriculum. I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger. So we'll skip over a number of lessons, but just give a bit of an overview, because there's a lot of stuff over the year that we do teach. So I'm going to make that a bit bigger again. So Meanie, as I scroll through, do you want to have a quick, there we go. That's nice and big for everyone, hopefully.
Yep. So we begin with how we learn and grow, moving into foundational concepts, understanding and identifying and fostering purpose, vision, values, and culture. Achieving dental practice goals, why goal setting is important. Types of dental practice goals, identifying strategies and tasks to achieve practice goals, delegation of tasks and deadlines, key performance indicators, monitoring KPIs, tools for tracking goals achievement progress, getting your team on board with goals achievement, and keeping your team inspired. Systems, what systems are, developing your dental practice systems, type of dental practice systems, standard operating procedures, and the dental practice manual. And Julie gave to many people last year a practice manual template for an online practice manual, which was fabulous. Reception operations, understanding the role of the receptionist, understanding how patients think, rapport building, communications, both in person and over the telephone, listening skills, task prioritization, time management at reception, becoming an effective multitasker, organisation skills development, email management, managing broken patient appointments, converting new callers into actual appointments, patient handover to reception, managing patients with incomplete treatment, scheduling for efficiency, productivity, and low stress, and filling the gaps in the appointment schedule. Patient management, patient engagement in their treatment, categorising patients for improved engagement, the lifetime value of patients, dental patient avatars, attracting and keeping great patients, patient expectations, understanding why patients leave, great customer service, getting patient feedback, managing difficult and complaining patients. We've never seen any of those, have we? Managing aggressive patients, active versus inactive patients, how to reactivate inactive patients, and preventing your inactive patient list from growing. Financial reporting, which is my little area that I love. Areas of financial reporting to monitor in a dental practice, balance sheets, profit and loss statements, cash flow statements, cash flow forecasting, managing a cash flow crisis, reconciliations and petty cash management, compliance, boring but has to be done, areas of compliance for dental practices, identification of resources to ensure compliance. Team, we do a lot of work around team, and it's always, I think, doesn't matter how much experience you've got, there's always challenges. building a successful team, developing a strong team culture, team conflict, managing bad employee behaviour, passive aggression in teams, improving the performance of a team member and performance reviews. HR, what are human resources, the hiring process, designing an effective job advert, telephone interviews, in-person interviews, onboarding new employees successfully, keeping great employees, managing an underperforming employee and terminating staff. Within leadership, we cover leadership versus management, types of leadership, developing leadership values, leadership communication, what drives team behaviour, psychologically safe working environments, systems to support leadership success, leadership resilience, cultivating relationships as a leader and thinking like a business owner. And then we finish with achieving success as a practice manager, mindset and belief management, growth, key areas to master, self-awareness, practice planning and implementation, and responsibility.
So as you can see, we cover a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's relevant to more than just the practice manager. So front desk staff, practice owners would get a lot out of it, but auxiliary staff would get a lot out of all of the patient management aspects as well. Are there, I realized I didn't ask before, Julie, when you asked the question before, did I answer it effectively? You sing out or pop in the chat whether that was actually answered effectively. Are there any questions so far? Beautiful, beautiful. So we're talking about the schedule wheel before. And so this is where we're just kind of on repeat with what topics are covered throughout the weeks of the year. As we mentioned before, we run from Feb all the way through to the November. Feb, we're starting off, as Amanda was just detailing, with foundational concepts, goals achievement, systems going to March, April, etc. And this is what we do. We're just going to be doing it every year. And so you are free to actually enroll at any time. If you really wanted to start fresh and start with the live sessions, enroll before the 30th of January. That's our first live session for this year. But if for some reason you can't enroll straight away and you feel like you've missed your opportunity, you haven't. You could enroll in April. It just means that you're coming in as we're talking about reception, communication, and operations. And then you'll be moving through, and your year will end up back at the April again. And that's where in the Feb and March, prior to you finishing up, that's when you'll be doing the foundational concepts, etc. Because even though all the information, we kind of need to know it all right now, but there's a sequence to it. But whether you know one thing before another, it doesn't all that much matter. But this is also when you can pick and choose and jump into the things that might be particularly relevant for you right now as well. So I think we've answered these frequently asked questions. So we'll quickly move through that to make sure. And then we might have a quick look at another testimonial. Is the enrolment per student or per practice? It's certainly per practice. Do students need to attend live sessions? They don't need to. It's a wonderful added value if you do, though. They're all recorded, hosted in the recordings page within your dashboard. The live sessions the same time every week? Yeah, every Monday between 9 and 11, every Thursday between 7 and 9, only public holidays. In Melbourne, would they not be there? But usually we don't have the same week having both as a public holiday, so there's always going to be a session there for you. What if I miss a live session? They're all recorded and loaded up. Let's have a quick look at Catherine's testimonial, like she's coming to court.
My biggest things for joining the program was that I've been a dental assistant for 20 years. I'd done reception work, but I hadn't done a lot of the accounting sort of software. I had never done KPIs or anything before. So this was that really good learning experience to gauge for KPIs, finance stuff, and a lot of things that I hadn't learned, and bridging between just the dental knowledge to more the business knowledge and finance knowledge and practice manager knowledge. So yeah, it's been great. No, not really. I did need a bit of help with definitely doing KPIs, especially with some of the Excel spreadsheets. I needed a bit of help with, and probably to be able to update our practice management Evernote and everything, and where to be able to find different information and how to utilize links and everything to make it more user friendly in the practice, because I'm not as tech savvy myself. I like a bit of paper. I've definitely received a lot of encouragement from both of you on definitely a can-do sort of attitude, and how where I see it as a big problem, it can be simplified and it's not as difficult as what it seems when you break it down. So, and definitely knowledge from other people in masterminds and gauging other people's different experiences has been amazing. I would say definitely they would benefit from it. I had a person on a Facebook group asking me the exact same thing and said, would it be only dental related? And I said, no, it probably wouldn't be, as hearing as I'm going on through the practice management course that your dad was a GP. And I feel that the practice manager course not only would benefit for dental, but definitely with medical and other businesses for financial reporting, and probably not so much the patient management with other sort of businesses, but definitely with medical, I think it would benefit as well. Probably the people. And the more people that you get to meet in dental is definitely great for those connections, that if you ever needed to know something, then you've got those other extra people, and especially with other people on the course. Everyone's been so lovely and helpful. It's been great.
Kath is glorious as well. So the next thing, there is another testimonial up there that you can feel free, with the lovely Rapunzel with her beautiful long red hair. You can have a look at in your own time as well. We'll put the link to this page into the chat. So you feel free to open that up and have a look yourself. And you can then read through a bunch of the other testimonials as well. It's worthwhile. These are people that have actually experienced the course itself, seen the benefit, seen the value in it as well. And so do have a read through all of those testimonials. It's certainly worth your while. I'm just going to stop sharing for a quick moment. And just while I'm getting up the special offer that we've got talking about, just to reach out again if anyone's got any questions. Is there anything that we haven't clarified properly? See how well we explain things? That happens in the course as well. There's never any questions. So just to let you know because we only just came up with this before, because we said, because Amina was very good. She said, we've got to offer them something tonight just for turning up and for being here. So I'm just going to share my screen one more time, and then Meanie, feel free to go through these special offers. I'm just going to make it a big full screen view. Can you see that, everybody? Meanie, is that good?
Yeah, beautiful. Very nice graphics, Julie. So this evening, if you enroll before close of business tomorrow, we will offer you the course at a 10% discount. And on top of that, we're offering a complimentary mini course surrounding creating confidence. And the value of that course is $349, and a free copy of the Charles Kovess book, Passionate People Produce. This book is absolutely magnificent. Charles is unfortunately married to Julie, but we still love him.
What a lucky, lucky man. And he's Australasia's passion provocateur. And this book that Passionate People produce that's there, this really does help people develop their own self-awareness, their own self-development in themselves and their teams at work. And so Passionate People produce is filled with fantastic insights that just helps us all be better. And so that's a fabulous thing. He said, yelled at before, they can have a copy of my book as well, which was awesome. That complimentary mini course of creating confidence, that's been another big challenge, hasn't it, Meanie? I just don't have the confidence. You know, I feel like I have to achieve all the things first, and then I'll have a level of confidence in my role. Well, we say, no. You can create your confidence, build that up beforehand. And then it's just, you know, flags and tickets on yourself once you've gone through all the motions of getting the experience. But that creating confidence mini course is extremely powerful. It really does help tap into your belief system and the way you speak to yourself and give you clear tasks and processes to go through, exercises to go through to build up your confidence. And there's various different exercises within it for you to do.
And if you enroll before close of business tomorrow, the coupon code below is Mastery10.
So as we say, by tomorrow, you will have received a recording link that will also have the purchase link, the reminder of the coupon code, the reminder of the special offer as well. If you want to share that with anybody, go nuts, go for your life. As we say, we want to make everything as easy as possible. And if you do decide to go ahead and enroll, and Lillian, for yourself, you're already there, you're going to have a fantastic time. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to start mastering the things that we do. And indeed, Tony Robbins says that we as human beings are happiest when we're progressing, when we feel like we're getting somewhere. And this course helps you feel that way every single week. You feel that sense of competency as you're adopting more skills and developing different insights to assess problems and things that go on during the general operations of the day. And you do have that strong sense of mastery over what you do. And as human beings, we love mastery, we love autonomy, we love doing things ourselves and not being constantly directed by other people, and we love working towards purpose. Those three drivers are part of what can help drive you and your team with all of your learnings, and when you're trying to inspire them to make the changes that you would like them to make, that you see are going to be effective as the practice manager within your practice. But
the other benefit of the program, I feel, is that as managers and owners, we're so caught up in the day-to-day operations that we find, you know, working on the business is always on the back burner, and we often put, you know, certain things off to address. But this is a great way of having some discipline around working on the business. So you're sort of killing two birds with one stone, I feel.
Yeah, it certainly does. Thank you, everyone. If you do want to yell out something before we close off the meeting, please do. But have a beautiful evening, everybody. You know, time for a bit of dinner, time for maybe a wine, something to, you know, drive home from work, because I can see you guys up there in the room. They're just still at work. Finally, you get to go home. Thank you for your kind attention and hanging around for the presentation and turning up live to the presentation as well. We very much appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see some of your faces in this coming 2023 year of the Dental Practice Management Program. Thanks, everybody. See you, Lillian.
Thank you so much. Good evening.